Hey everyone, welcome back to Putting Bricks to Work podcast. I have Mo Hayat. He is the co-founder and CTO of Abstract. Hey Mo.
Hello, hello. Thanks so much for having me on.
I'm excited to have you on. I've been following you guys for a couple years. There is a throughput with housing, what we're doing, and also politics.
Mhm.
That's what we're going to be
Definitely.
talking about here. But let's get right into your origin story. So tell us more about yourself, how you guys formed Abstract and what Abstract does.
Absolutely. So, my origin story doesn't really isn't really too complex. I mean, I'm originally from Kuwait, was born here, raised in Kuwait my whole life, and came here to study at Loyola Marymount University in Los
Nice.
Angeles.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I mean, the minute I started getting into engineering, and in my undergrad, I was studying electrical engineering. I really started to, have an obsession for it or fondness of looking at things through the lens of systems or making sense of things, and then on top of it also simplifying it or explaining it to people and how it works because it might benefit them in their lives. So I always kind of had that rule set for myself that whatever I was going to head into after graduation, I really wanted to really harp on that educational piece of it. um and just the way the universe works, I guess. Senior year of college, I was talking with my friend Patrick, who is now our co-founder and CEO, and he was telling me about a conversation that he had with a friend of his about the Green New Deal, which was at the time a bill at the federal level, written by or introduced by AOC.
Hmm.
That overarchingly, it was a very massive bill, but just talked about investment in renewable energy and kind of slightly beginning to move away from fossil fuels. But when he was talking with his friend about it, the main thing that he learned was his friend was saying that they were trying to ban all aircraft, and that sounded a little, no, it doesn't sound too reasonable. So,
Yeah.
um, Pat actually went to congress.gov, the actual website, and scrolled through the entire bill and read through the entire bill, which for someone used to the UI of Twitter, Instagram, and a lot of like modern day social media or just general information sites that we have, um, going through that was a very, very painful process.
Yeah.
So the realization that we both came to was, I wonder if there's a way we could do that for legislation, just modernize it and use whatever tools that are being used in very hot industries that day, like e-commerce and so on, to just um, make the ingestion of data stuck to the facts in the legislation very, very easy. And we looped in our friend who's now our co-founder and CPO, Matthew. And yeah, we just started building, I guess, after graduation. We've been through a lot for sure. The funny thing about it is we incorporated about a couple of weeks before COVID hit in early 2020.
Yeah.
And having been through that, having been through all the SVB nightmare, if anyone's been paying attention to that, it's definitely been an interesting time to be a founder, to say the least. But so far we've been doing well. So yeah, I could totally dive into a little bit about the product as well that
Yeah,
we're
please.
building. So
Please.
yeah, definitely. So we are basically building a one-stop shop for everything related to gov affairs, initially within the state of California.
Yeah.
So one thing that we noticed was when COVID hit, a lot of the organizations like contract lobbying firms, nonprofits, state agencies, anything along the lines of that um, their workflows were really impeded by COVID and by forcing them to go remote, and none of it was actually modernized. And when you think about very outdated systems running the overarching system that decides what's legal and what's not in our life, that was a big concern to us, and we were like, we should probably, allocate a couple of resources to fix that. So, um, it just led to a couple of years of long iterations, and it gave us, the product that we have right now, which is currently used by about I want to say between 50 and 75 different organizations across California to track legislation in California in any way that you'd like. So you could see when bills have updates to them, when they're being set for hearing, you can have very specific insights to them. So as of today, we're the only platform across a lot of GovTech companies where if you'd like to see, for example, in the 2021-2022 legislative session,
Mhm.
which bills that Apple has supported, we're able to pull that up for you. And it just gives you, um, with the same data that you're working with, it just gives you vast new insights or tools to work with it and see it in ways that you haven't been able to see before. And that's kind of the same vision that we're heading on right now. So exciting stuff.
Awesome. No, a couple of thoughts was for us and my partner Alex. He runs a land use consulting firm in downtown. So during COVID as well, I was like, "Is there all stop to permitting, planning?" And we're like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, they don't. They're trying to figure out how to work Zoom." And so it
Mhm.
was that kind of
Right.
period where they were doing these meetings over Zoom and
Mhm.
a lot of technical challenges, but it was needed. And I think this, benefit of that was it pushed all the cities to be comfortable with it. And now, even, post 3 years later, they're doing things on Zoom and also in person. So they're starting to, integrate that remote hearing process, if that makes sense, at the city level.
Exactly.
Yeah.